All right, so that first attempt didn't go as well as I hoped it would, but nothing seems to go right on the first attempt for me. So I did a couple things. I checked all the plugs, everything's producing spark. So I think the CDI and all the wiring that I did with the coil is good. Also yesterday, the battery ended up getting really low. Once it drops below 12 volts, the M-unit apparently turns off. So I wasn't able to use the battery anymore. I put it on the charger and it has voltage again. I do have my 4Runner behind me though, so I may bring jumper cables over if it doesn't start up this next time. I also installed the whole throttle assembly. So yesterday I was also just trying to use a screwdriver to depress the mechanism that opens and closes the carbs. But with the actual throttle and the push-pull assembly, it should be a lot cleaner, so I can try blipping the throttle as I fire it up. So since this battery has charged, before I bother hooking it up to the truck, I thought I would go ahead and give it a couple more fire attempts, and if that doesn't work, I'll get the jumpers on and keep trying that way. Hearing protection, because there were some mean backfires last time. All right, I don't want to kill the battery, and it already felt like it was starting to go lower on crank, so I'm going to hook up the bigger battery and keep going. It feels like it wants to get there. I'm seeing flames occasionally come out of the velocity stack, so I'm not sure how bad of a thing that is. But anyway, let's keep trying. All right, so the 4Runner has a huge battery. I've got it hooked up, turned back on. I've also got my fire extinguisher handy because who knows. These are always the most anxiety-inducing parts of any project when you can't get the damn thing to work. So I'm going to try to reverse the coils. Maybe I have spark firing at the wrong time for the 1 and 4 and 2 and 3 cylinder. I was pretty sure that everything was right, but it doesn't hurt to try. Or at least I don't think it hurts to try. All right, well I guess that's progress, although it doesn't look like the 2 and 3 header pipes are getting hot, so I'm not sure if I fixed something or not, but I need to figure out why not everything's running, but at least something's running. Anyway, so I'll keep looking to figure this out. All right, so I was able to get the engine to fire, but only on 2 cylinders. Cylinder 1 and 4 are firing, and 2 and 3 are not. I would think that it's an electrical problem, since one coil handles the outside cylinders and the other coil handles the 2 on the inside. But I am seeing spark out of the 2 on the inside, so I'm not sure that's the issue. And it may just be coincidental that it's 2 and 3 that's not firing. So I picked up a engine compression tool. So I'm going to see how much PSI I'm getting out of each cylinder. This may be a bigger problem than I thought it is. Okay, starting first with cylinder 1. Got the carbs wide open. Also 130. Okay, so it sounds like either spark or fuel are my problems, both of which are a lot easier to solve than if it was a compression issue and have to dismantle the engine. All right, so it's pretty early on Saturday morning, but I was browsing the internet trying to figure out my problem of why I can't get cylinders 2 and 3 to fire, and I found somebody that was having the exact same problem I'm having on a CB650 bike where 2 and 3 won't fire, and it's because the wires coming off the pulsar, bring it down here, these 2 wires, try to focus, the 2 yellow and the 2 blue apparently have polarity or are different than each other somehow. So apparently I got the 2 wires correct as I created the harness for the blue side, the 1 and 4, but apparently I had them inversed for the yellow one. So I guess since I rewired the whole bike, I had a 50% chance of this and a 50% chance of this. Together only 25% chance of success. So the odds weren't in my favor, but I think I figured it out. So I'm going to flip these 2 wires and hopefully the bike will run on all 4 cylinders. Since I've been looking at everything else, I am going to adjust the valves. It seems like all the valves are a little bit loose, not too bad. And then I need to put the exhaust back onto it. Taking that out, trying to figure out if something may be stuck in there, if I left some paper towels in there as the engine was sitting. But I did see a lot of fuel coming out of 2 and 3, so fueling wasn't the issue, and again it was sparking, but apparently it was sparking at the wrong time. So I think I've got it figured out. It's only 6 o'clock in the morning, so it'll be a couple of hours before I can fire up the bike. I figure I'll get the valves adjusted, get that cable switched, and hopefully be good here soon. So I'm usually irritated when there's a lot of noise going on outside because I'm trying to record and want you guys to hear my voice, but in this case it's still kind of early, but since my neighbor started mowing his lawn, I can finally try to start this back up. So I swapped the wires that are coming off the pulsar. They're both yellow, but apparently one needs to be in place of the other. I'm hoping that's the issue. I found that off of some forum on the internet early this morning. I got that swapped. While the covers were off, I went ahead and also adjusted the valve lash 0.002 inches in the intake side and 0.003 inches on the exhaust side, and we'll see how it goes. So my other problem though is that I think my starter clutch is starting to go because the starts are starting to sound pretty poor. I'll deal with that later. I know that's actually a really big job if I have to replace it, but it's something that at least I know what it is. I've seen lots of topics on the forums on how to perform the change. It's not easy, but apparently you can do it now without splitting the case halves. So I'll get to that eventually. But for now, I'd love to get the bike actually running well and go from there. So let's try it out. Alright, so I checked. Finally all 4 of the header pipes are getting nice and hot. It's finally firing on all 4 cylinders. So I'm glad it was that easy of a fix. I literally spent hours yesterday trying to chase it down. I swapped out the carbs, put the old carbs on, trying to see if that made a difference. I took pretty much everything that I put on apart and ran through the wiring a bunch of times. But if you're redoing the wiring on a bike like this, the 2 blue and 2 yellow wires that are coming off of the pulsar on the right side of the bike have polarity. I looked at my old wiring harness. Little tag on one of the 2 blue wires, so be mindful that that has a particular order, and if it doesn't work one way, it's probably the other. Had I used a timing light, I probably would have also been able to see that 2 and 3 weren't firing timing-wise correctly, but anyway, happy that that is now running. It seems to be running a little bit rich. I don't know if I'll have to make adjustments to the jetting or something else. I did have the choke on while I was testing that out. Alright, so I've got the idle adjustment set correctly, and check out how easy it is to start now. Again, I appreciate the noise in the background because it's keeping the neighbors from hating only me. Key on, fire up, just like that. I was feeling pretty dejected after all of the failed attempts that I had yesterday, but now that it's firing up that easily and sounds pretty good, I'm excited again. Before I ended the video, I wanted to show with the anti-gravity battery installed, so under its own battery power, key on. Thanks everyone for watching. Stay tuned for more videos.